Hello and welcome to another television review from MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. My name is Stephen John McLaughlin. I'm one of the co-hosts here at MBE, and the other co-host who's about to appear on screen is John C. Walsh. We're here to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, John.
It's
episode 6. The last episode, the season finale as they like to call it in the US. One world, one people. And this is the one we've been waiting for.
How'd that fucking work out for you?
John, I'm going to, just before we pass it over to you to take us through this television review, I've been reading on social media after I watched this. I watched this actually earlier than I normally do. I watched this about 6 o'clock tonight.
Stephen, I've not done a graphic for the actual
for
review,
the whole series,
so we're not going to go to that other screen.
That's okay.
It's not going to happen. Stuck on this shite
one
screen.
One thing...
not going to go to this
watching
screen.
that early gave me a chance to watch other people's reviews and stuff like that, just to see what they were thinking. I agreed with some parts, some I didn't. Social media as well. This last episode is such a mixed response. There's a lot of people.
Right in that morning, don't you?
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking, John, that this episode is a masterpiece. I've seen that. Some people don't like it. They've said that it's a bit of a letdown. It's a bit clunky in parts. I've got to be honest, John, it's not my favourite episode, but it's a good episode. It's a decent episode, and it's a fitting conclusion to this great television series. I just wish we got more. I wish it was, the 9 episodes that WandaVision got. But I'm sure that by the end of when we're doing our summaries, we'll get to it anyway, John, and we can give our thoughts. But I'm going to pass it over to you now to take us through this television review experience.
Well, Stephen, we've been joined by Mike first and foremost. He says he absolutely loved the show, and it was mixed. The finale was mixed. I concur with those 2 points. I loved the show as well. Loved the journey we went on in this show with the 2 main protagonists, James Buchanan and Sam Wilson. And the finale was mixed, but I enjoyed it, man, for one thing, and we'll get into that, I'm sure. Very, very soon indeed. One particular group meeting their end made me incredibly happy to see them bite the bullet. But look, Stephen, starts with a bang. This whole episode is very frenetic. There's lots of action in it, and they don't hang around right from the get-go. We're right into the action. We see, I think, Action Jackson. That came into my head there because someone requested me to react to that. That's not going to happen because I can't say the name of the film. It just says it there. Stephen, obviously, Sharon Carter, she has a nifty disguise at the start of this. That took me out of it a little bit right away. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
John, I actually thought it was one of the things from Captain Marvel.
So did I.
At first.
Yeah, a scroll or something. That's, or a Kree, whatever one it was.
I
think it's a scroll.
The
the scroll invasion. I think it's the Skrulls. I think that's what Ben Mendelsohn's
great
character.
Technology though.
It was, but it took me out a bit. It's like, this has been a realistic TV show. Not been many nifty things apart from Super Soldier Serum, and then we've got her doing a sort of disguise, and I'm like, no, that's wrong. But Stephen, that aside, it builds it very, very nicely. I think it's a GRC building they're doing this vote at, that the flag smashers are trying to interrupt and stop whatever it is they're trying to stop, the relocation of all of these disposed terrorists, as they like to call them. Sam comes in right off the back. We see him flying, and my first thoughts was, oh fuck, it is Falcon's wings then. It's not the Captain America outfit he's got in that box. But then he smashes through the glass, and lo and behold, it is the comic book accurate Sam Captain America outfit. He's got the wings, it's white. Stephen, I know you weren't a big fan of the design. We'll get into that in a moment. We've got another comment here from Mike. To me, the strength of Disney Plus MCU shows strength is character development. Absolutely is. We spoke about that, Stephen. It's giving air time to minor characters who don't have a chance to show.
John, we saw it in The Mandalorian.
Movies.
We saw it in WandaVision. We're seeing it in this as well, and I'm sure we're going to get to know Loki a little bit better as well. I think we've seen a lot of Loki in the films, but I think we're going to really get close and personal.
Do you think, like me, quick tangent here, do you think like me that Loki's building to be a sort of Scrooge type affair, where he's going to this time variance authority, they can look back and forward into multiple timelines? Do you think there's going to be a sort of Ghost of Christmas Past affair here? Loki will be the Scrooge. He'll look back, see what he's done, look forward, see what's to come, and that will shape him. Because we don't want to see the same Loki from 2014. We want to see Loki from a mixture of the Loki we saw in Infinity War and that Loki. We
That's
want the
problem,
mischievousness,
isn't it?
but we want the development.
We're kind of cherry picking him out of a period in time where he was from 2014, as you said, John.
That's why you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do the whole Ghost of Christmas Past thing and give us a different but similar version to Loki.
I think it would
It's
speed
not
up
dead.
the process to bring him up to speed to the way he ends up before his death. I suppose it's a good concept. Yeah, I like that.
Stephen, I agree with that comment as well. It was a dramatic story, but delved into the sort of racial stuff, the societal issues over in the States, but here as well. We've got our racists over here as well. They're just more sly and sleeker. Stephen, what did you make about the suit, the introduction of the new Captain America? Was it something you enjoyed? What was your thoughts on the design? As you're speaking, I'm going to do my best to bring this up. It may or may not work because I did move
I think
it's come up fantastic.
Listen, he looks great in anything. This guy, you know what I mean. The suit, it looks great. It reminds me of the Endgame suits that they wore, the white ones. It's comic book accurate as well. That you've got to remember that. One thing I didn't like was the headpiece on it. I hated that. I just thought I'd just keep the goggles. The goggles are cool enough. That sort of white thing that was, just behind the goggles, I didn't like. But the suit itself, paying homage to Steve Rogers' suit as well, bit of a combination there. The wings, John,
and the actual star.
Yeah, the star.
It was better. It was like the Steve Rogers star.
Yeah,
it wasn't like the John Walker star.
Yeah, but the wings sort of capped. Pardon the pun, capped it off for me. They just looked amazing with this suit. Great amalgamation of two suits. Because I don't want him to lose his Falcon identity. I still want him to be identified as the Falcon as well. I know going forward he'll be referred to as Cap or Captain America, but I love that character. Thanks very much for that, Mike.
I thought OBS is about to crash here.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. Again, you're very, very generous. We do appreciate anything that comes in, man. But don't ask for it. But if you want to share it, then it is appreciated at all times, man.
Yeah.
I liked the uniform too, Mike. I thought it was good. There was little nitpicks in there, but there's always nitpicks with the uniforms in this universe. Be it colour choices, be it just little designs. I mean, I have faults with the 4 uniforms. I have faults with some of the Steve Rogers Captain America uniforms. But in the main, it's comic book accurate. It had its little white flourishes, which I didn't quite enjoy, I have to say, but it's comic book accurate, that's fine. But in the main, it's a good suit. It sort of comprises the wings, and it's got the shield, and it's got everything. It's perfect, man, for Anthony Mackie. And look, he's just a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
He's built like a brick shithouse. He's a big guy. And I cannot wait to see this guy taking on this role, man. That is what this has all been about for me, Stephen. And Mackie says it. The legacy of the Shield, the legacy of continuing Captain America and a different guise. And it's just been that exploration of what it means for a black man to take the Shield. And we see that more than ever. And there's a real poignant moment at the end of this, which we'll get into, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But Stephen, moving on, the action sequence with the helicopters, Sam, Red Wing's back.
I was going to ask John, Red Wing's the name. I'm glad they kept that technology there as well, they didn't ditch it. I think Red Wing is like to Sam as R2-D2 is to Luke Skywalker. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, they've got a great rapport, and obviously he can do things that Sam can't do, or Cap can't do, because I'm going to have to get used to calling him a Cap now. He's not, well, he is Sam, he's fucking Sam, but he's a Cap now as well. It's just not Falcon. And I like Stephen, you says a little title at the end. I kind of missed that, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go back and watch that.
Captain, miss it,
and the Winter Soldier, I think it was, instead of Falcon. So
that's interesting, John, if they're going into a second season of this, whether they will title it as Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or whether they'll keep
Captain
the Falcon and the Winter Soldier title.
I think it'll be Captain and the Winter Soldier.
It's just strange, isn't it?
It is.
I've never seen another television show change its name onto another season, if you like.
Yep.
Not that I can think of anyway.
No, I can't either, Stephen. I've had deaths in the likes of Dallas and stuff like that, and EastEnders and shit like that. We've never changed, and I'm glad we haven't. I don't watch EastEnders, it's shite. That's a British sitcom over here, if you don't know what we're talking about. It's absolutely terrible. Lots of screaming and wailing cockneys. Stephen, the action sequence, it was multi-perspective from the get-go. We had the Flag Smashers, we had Carly, we had Bucky, we had Sharon Carter, we had Sam whistling around, and at one point we even had John Walker coming back, and 13 minutes had passed, and we've got this multi-perspective action sequence taking place. It was frenetic as hell, with the hostages being rounded up. That big goon of an NYPD cop, he gets dealt with, and I love the way Sharon dealt with him, and I'll quote it, What is it she dealt with? She used, I think it was mercury vapour.
Vapour, yeah.
And I loved the way he just bubbled away, that little shithead, a big shithead. He would part my head in, I tell you that. He was bigger than me. Stephen, I says in my notes, who was the most compelling watch in the first 15-20 minutes? Because it was frenetic switching of action. For me, I think it was probably Sam.
Yeah.
Because this guy's getting into the role of Captain America. And he's just had most action. He was fighting Carly and stuff like that. And I loved... Well, I don't think he was fighting Carly at this point. I'm talking shite. He was fighting her later on, but there was lots and lots of freneticism. That's what I'm saying. Did you think that Walker stole the show with his sort of bad guy turned good?
No.
Who stole the show for you, Steve?
Sam, but you talking about John Walker. The problem with that character is, John, that there's not enough episodes to really stretch out his sort of arc. Yeah. So one minute he's the guy that's got all the honours, and he's an honourable person as well, and he's professional in his personal life as well, and then he sort of derails a little bit, obviously with the death of, I can't remember the character's name, Lamar.
Lamar, yeah. Battlestar.
Yeah, and I think he's just, his life's derailed at that point, and then he takes the serum, he becomes a super soldier.
He thinks that's
he's a bit of an
arse
in the last episode, and then he's a good guy again in this one. It's just it's a bit clunky, John, but I think this guy needs his own series. I think that's the thing. I think he needs, and we'll talk about that as well, obviously, with US Agent John. But for me, it's Sam. All eyes are on Sam because of that sort of cliffhanger we had at the very end of the last episode with the briefcase being opened. Everyone knew it was a suit. We were all waiting to see what this suit was going to look like. People obviously are more in tune with the comic book lore will know exactly what to expect. We didn't. I knew it was some kind of Captain America suit, but what it looked like, I couldn't have really imagined what it would look like.
Stephen, I didn't even try to search it up because I didn't want it spoiled. I wanted to go into this finale. I seen a little clip come up on YouTube and I didn't even want to watch it. I just wanted to experience as it was coming along. I agree, man. I'm glad he's got Red Wing back as well, because it's, as we did say, he's got good rapport with that little guy, and as you perfectly, that analogy, Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, that is the perfect analogy for those two. Stephen, I loved the fact that Walker was ready to save the truck. I loved the fact, as you did say, he went off the edge a little bit. I've said time and again, I don't think this guy's inherently bad or evil. I think he's just been thrust into a situation he's ill-equipped for. He ain't Captain America. He's not got he's not got the cojones for it. He's not got the tools in his toolbox to be that guy. He just ain't that guy. He's a heroic captain in the army, but he's just not ready for it. He's a US agent, and now he's slipped into the role he's ready for. So I'm glad that he's ultimately not been done in or anything like that he's going to live on. But we'll get into that, I'm sure. I hated the Flag Smashers in this episode, Stephen.
John,
I've hated them throughout the entire show. I've hated I understand what they stand for, if that makes sense. The anti-blip, the people who have been pushed out by the blipped the people coming back, if it's clunky the way I'm trying to explain this.
Yeah.
Therefore, protecting these people who have been around for the entire 5 years, they've been thrust out like lepers. Like a leper, as Heath Ledger would say. Yeah. And they're trying to fight for rights for them. Understand what they're trying to do, but the characters are so fucking annoying.
John, I think the problem with Flag Smashers is that, again, they would have needed their own show, really, to establish them and what their cause was, and to get emotionally attached to them is what I'm trying to say, because I don't think that 6 episodes is enough, but you do need that sort of...
done their best, Stephen.
Yeah, and you need that kind of... this is another thing, John. There isn't any out-and-out bad people in this or good people. There's a lot of grey areas, and the Flag Smashers is very grey, I felt.
The reveal at the end.
Yeah.
I think we have a bad person in one mids.
Yeah.
And Carter, she's not revealed. Carter, I fucking hated that, Steve.
Cunter. Yeah. John, I think the Flag Smashers for me were grey. There was too much in the grey area all the time for me. I know they obviously blew up that building with the people in it. That's a terrible thing to do, by the way. That's really bad. You know, it's really bad vibes.
We never connected with those people. I don't care about them.
No, well, that's the thing. I didn't know who they were. They were faceless wonders as far as I was concerned. I didn't know who they were. But for me, the whole thing, and the Carly character for me wasn't convincing enough, and that's nothing to do with the actor.
No.
I can't remember the actor's name, John, but
can't recall that, Steve.
Actually, we were talking about
Stephen, I forgot Nicholas Hoult's name last night.
Erin Kellyman, that's her name.
Sure.
But Nicholas Hoult. Jeez,
Yeah, I was thinking about X-Men. I forgot
Yeah.
Nicholas Holt's name, so if I'm forgetting his name, I'm certainly not going to remember her fucking name. Not a chance. I've got the memory of a 90-year-old.
It just wasn't convincing enough, John. I think we didn't spend enough time with these characters to really connect with them. They were there for a purpose. That's really what they were there for.
And the purpose was to, in a sense, make John Walker a super soldier, turn him into US agent so they can keep him long term, and to turn
a catalyst.
Yes, a catalyst to turn Sam into Captain America as well. They were a MacGuffin, as the term.
I think
plot
as
device.
well, John, in our heads, we've got to get it out of our heads that we're dealing with Avengers here. I know, obviously, Bucky and Sam are part of the Avengers, but in the grand scheme of things, it's more localized, if you like.
Yeah.
Very much like the Marvel Netflix stuff. And we've got to remember the villains are going to be the same. They're going to be more scaled down as well. You're not going to get the Falcon and Winter Soldier taking on a Thanos-like type character.
I like the fact you referenced Thanos in this. That was good. That's the first time I've heard him directly referenced since Endgame. Stephen, I agree with Mike again. Flag Smashers was a means to an end. The story was more about Sam, not Zam, proving to everyone that he's Captain America, including to himself. That was what I got from this entire show. It was
Mike actually said what I was trying to say. It took me about 5 minutes to say that, and it took him 4 lines to actually say what I meant. Mike,
Stephen, I can't.
You need to get you on the show, Mike.
Exactly, man. We have to get him on. I bet you speak better than us as well. You'll be more understandable. You'll bring in the wider audience. Stephen, the Flag Smashers, the reason they annoyed me was the fact that they interrupted John Walker's act of goodness, his good Samaritan act. He went to save the truck, and they started attacking him. I'm like, you fucking... I was angry with him. I just hated these guys, man. I hated them. I understand, as Mike says, they're a means to an end. I understand what they were doing, but I still detested them. I think
for the second season, John, we're going to get a bigger villain.
Yeah, it's going to be the Power Broker. I think we'll get into that. Actually, we will get into that, Steve. We'll get in. That's the very last question.
I think Carter's going to have a series before we get to season 2, so she'll be more grander by that point as well.
Yeah, could be, Stephen. Oh, I don't know how they're going to.
I'm disappointed, John, in that character because her family's legacy. Well, Peggy, obviously, for what she did in her life.
Well, she worked with Tony Stark's father, didn't she? At that sort of base we see in Infinity War, or in Endgame, I should say, when they go back. So she's had direct connections to the Starks, to Steve Rogers. So for her to turn out that way, it's disappointing.
Hank Pym as well.
But it's an important message that sets out as well, that this, no matter what your background, who you've had ties with, that you can turn bad. Yeah, you can have bad apples in every single family. It doesn't matter.
She got her pardon. I know it was too little too late, I suppose, in her eyes, but she got it, and she obviously bears a grudge.
Tough shit. I don't really care about her.
Who the fuck are you?
I take it back. She's an alright character, man. She had some great moments in this. And I'm sure she'll be an entertaining watch when she does get a spin-off show, but she will get, and we'll get into that as well, Stephen. And we'll get into it right now, because that's the point I'm about to make. Funny enough, Sharon Carter is the Power Broker. It's revealed. Just a matter of fact, she has a conversation with Carly before she gets done in. And the US agent is born as well, says in the same breath. We have 2 reveals. One was expected, one wasn't expected. I didn't know who the Power Breaker was. I didn't even assume it was Carter. But it's been revealed, and Stephen F says it's merely just to create spin-off shows. That's what they're doing here.
I don't know, John, because I can't really see Marvel or Disney want to do a show dedicated to a villain in that sense. Loki, on the other hand, is a bit more flip-flop, and there's a bit of comedic sort of characteristics in that character. This one's try to be the bad Jane. This one's try to be evil.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way it's going to go. I think Carter, I don't know. I don't know if they'll do that, to be honest with you. I hope I'm wrong, John, because it would be something different.
Steve, we'll get right into it now then, look, because we clearly can't hang on to the end here. Do you think, well, you've just answered, do you think Carter will have her own show as a villain, or as a sort of broker between good guys, bad guys, or do you think she'll go right into season 2 as a villain? Because she walks away from that sort of hearing, and she's already doing deals. She's trying to get access to secretive government.
Personally, I'd like to see her doing her own
like
thing. I don't want to see her connected to the Falcon Winter Soldier now. If they're building this character up, either give her her own show, which I don't know, I can't see it, or she's going to become a villain.
We had an Agent Carter show, didn't we?
Yeah. It
was a different actor.
It was It was Peggy. That's who
Peggy
it was.
Carter. So it was her mother.
I can't remember the actress's
You
name.
know, I'm your mother. Don't
What's
you
what's the actress's name again?
Haley Atwell.
Yeah, Haley
Was it the
Atwell.
same actor?
Yeah.
There you go. I didn't know that. Steve, I've not seen it.
No, I'm not that fussed about things
I'm
like
not
that,
going
John.
to go back now.
But as I said, I think either give her her own show or she's going to be a villain in Phase 4.
Yeah. Stephen, I think it will be. And look, she'd be a nice little human scale villain, the likes of a Scott Lang could take on. Although I've been bumping my gums about that as well, man, that Scott deserves and has earned a Kang the Conqueror level villain in his movie, because he's always been given the sort of Walton Goggins villains, the street level beefcase stealing villains, and he's fucking better than that. Mike says he's been flapping his gums about it all day, the show, he streamlined his thoughts. He's been thinking about it for 16 hours. I think Mike was watching it at 3 a.m. American time. I literally just watched it about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
Because I was working, and sadly I didn't get up early enough to watch it. So I've just watched it to keep it nice and fresh in my brain. And I've been thinking about it since it ended as well, man. Look, that's one thing I will say. This show has been good, but it's not made me think quite as much as WandaVision. WandaVision, that finale, man.
Yeah.
I had to wake up at the crack of dawn and watch that. I was that excited for it, man. What's going to happen with Vision? What's going to happen with Wanda? Is this Hex going to engulf the world? Is this going to create X-Men, mutants? What's going to happen with this character? This, that.
The Strange.
It was just unbelievable. Stephen, I stayed up to fucking 2 a.m. doing weights, as I always do, but watching John Campea.
Yeah, you messaged me, John, I think about lunchtime, and said you watched it, and I was like, oh, what? and you went, it was okay, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, okay. I was like, definitely Strange isn't in it then.
Yeah,
you know?
That's why I was pissed off, yeah. Stephen, I was just disappointed as well with some elements of that finale, but in the main, they hit it off pretty well. But this one has been good too, but it's not quite been WandaVision level. I've got that out of my system early doors as well. I like that the show was very dramatic humour, but not awfully goofy like some MCU movies, and I like that. Yeah, they've had their humour in there. There was moments where he was speaking about, what was it, the big three, I think. Is it Sam? Someone mentions to Sam. It's in the very first episode. I can't recall what the hell it was though. There was little moments, so that's what I'm saying. There was little comedic sort of trademark MCU moments, but they weren't in your face. It was more drama driven, and I enjoyed that. And that's what I've enjoyed about these TV shows in general. They've been very different vibes so far. I think Loki will be the same. It will be even more different and unique. Yeah. And that's the best thing about TV. You can do things that movies and their big budgets don't, and the pressure to get box office returns, they don't allow you to do that. But Stephen, tangents aside, man, Carly gets shot. She gets shot dead. We're supposed to be upset about it. I says they build the emotional music, play on the heartstrings. I says quite clearly, unequivocally, I could not give less of a fuck about that character.
John, it's funny as well when you talk about Carly. You mentioned briefly about the reveal, the power broker. We didn't talk about it. It was that. Who cares?
Yep.
I never suspected at any point Carter was that person. Mm-hmm. The power broker. I keep forgetting the name. That's how important it is to me. I don't even care what they're called. Nah, I wasn't that bothered about it. But Carly's death, John, it was inevitable, wasn't it? Yeah. In the words of Thanos.
It was. I'm inevitable.
I didn't really care for the character enough, John, to be honest with you.
No, I didn't either, Stephen, and that's why ultimately...
Not her cause. I get the cause. I can appreciate that and I can respect that, Stephen, John, but the people, the ones that were sort of our group, the ones that were...
our brethren.
Yeah.
Stephen, what's her name again? What's the name of the actor? Can you tell me very quickly?
Yes, it's Erin Kellyman.
Erin Kellyman. I'm going to search up how old she is, because to me
we checked this.
She's 22.
Yeah.
She's the fucking poster girl for Zoomer generation. That's what I'm going to say. Everyone likes to shit in the millennials. Whiny little bitchy Zoomer generation. I'm getting the kick into that generation. They've been slagging our generation off. Avocado eating skinny jean freaks. Obsessed with Harry Potter and Friends. Well, fuck you. That's the poster girl for the Zoomer generation.
Grace Randolph described as a misguided teenager.
Yeah. That's exactly it. She's just hitting out at the world. She's very angry. She's hormonal. Just annoying, really, really annoying to me. Just an annoying character, and a goon, the long-haired guy that gets blown up as well.
His voice throughout when I wasn't looking at the screen, which wasn't that normally when they were on the screen, I wasn't looking at the screen, and I heard his voice. It sounded like someone else. His voice did not match his look. It's weird. Yeah, Stephen,
that's a great shout actually from Mike. She may be a double agent.
Yeah,
she may be a double agent. I never even thought about that. Maybe she is playing off the. What is the name of that city? The island city that they went to? I'm completely blanking on it. That Madripoor. She may be working as a double agent. try to bring in the bad guys. Yeah. Steve, that'd be a great TV show though. She was working double agent, playing them off. That'd actually be a brilliant shout. But yeah, I just hated Callie, man, as a character. I didn't hate her, but no, I didn't really like her. I didn't care for her. She was whiny, and she got in the way of ultimately what I wanted to see, which was more James Buchanan, more Sam Wilson, more John Walker. As we said before, without hanging around way too long, they were a means to an end. They were a MacGuffin, a plot device to get us to where we wanted to be, which is US Agent. Sam is Captain America, and James Buchanan cleared. And
US Agent, John, we didn't talk about.
No, we didn't. US Agent Born, Stephen. I briefly says it could be a spin-off. I think we are getting a spin-off show with him, Stephen. I absolutely think he deserves a spin-off show.
Especially you're bringing in someone like Wyatt Russell into the mix as well. If you weren't going to do something with the character, you would just bring in some goon, that you're never going to see again or care for. You're bringing in someone that has acting abilities, and we've seen what he can do. I would like to see that. I don't know. There's something about, since he took that serum, he's became a different person. I don't mean the strength. I don't know. He's a kind of a... Is he genuine, and he's caused, because there was a moment in this episode where he had this little flashback. I think it was a medal or something appeared in front of him. I think
it was in the actual shield. They had the medal on the shield. Yeah.
I think that.
I think it was Lamar's.
I think that's what's going to play into this character throughout. I think he's going to. I think the serum and him are going to have. It's going to be like the Incredible Hulk, where he's got to try and balance that sort of power, and he's obviously his own honourable characteristics.
Steve, it's like Lamar says to him, the serum will only amplify what is already there, and I think he's fundamentally a decent guy. He's just been a little bit misled. What was I don't even know what you call it. Yeah, I was laughing at that as well. The Irishman.
Her voice grates me, yeah.
God, yeah, the Irishman. She's like a female fucking, what's his face? Christopher Walken. Look, man, she's okay. She's done a great job on YouTube. She's part of the sort of press, isn't she? She was actually in she was in Zombieland too, I think. We'll get another comment. Appreciate the series for what it is. Spoiled fans in America expecting Endgame. Oh no, man. What were they expecting that for, man? You're never getting an Endgame level event, and this is a TV show. Crazy to me. Comment from Ghost Hand. They are probably going to go for a different route with US Agent, since in the comics he's more of a direct adversary to Captain's ideals. I think John Walker will be more rage and feeling of betrayal from his country. Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say. I think he's going to be a kind of a... What would you say?
An anti-hero.
But I think he's going a bit of a bipolar kind of
character, killing people one moment and then clinging to his sort of medal the next. Stephen, in the comics, I do believe he was a big player in Civil War. I think he was betrayed by Lamar or something like that. And so I've not read it, obviously, because I've not got a clue where to start. But he isn't a character at small level. He's not a goon. He isn't some sort of gimp character. This guy had huge parts in big storylines in the comics, so that he's got scope to do something in a TV show, or maybe even jump into I don't know if he'll jump into the cinematic universe. That's maybe a step too far. But I'm just glad that Wyatt Russell's living on. I love Kurt Russell. I think he's a great actor. I want to see
Wyatt. Imagine him coming up against Thanos. That first episode we saw him in with the ears like this.
Stephen, did they sort the helmet out in the US Agent suit? I don't know if it did.
I don't know. Do you know what's funny, John? See when this reveal of the black suit, I was like, I wonder what it's going to be like. It's such a fucking letdown. So I've just painted it black.
That's what he says, it's black. Stephen, there was a rumour going about that they deliberately made the suit ill-fitting to make him look stupid. They made the helmet a little bit big, so it was like he wasn't... It didn't feel comfortable. He wasn't right in the actual costume, let alone as Captain America. But that aside, I like Wyatt Russell, man. He's been playing it for laughs on YouTube and stuff like that, and videos, interviews, so I'm glad he's continuing the characters. I like the character. I like a bit of a maverick, man, and he is a maverick. He fucking killed someone in cold blood with a shield, but he's a maverick and I like him, and I'm glad he's continuing. Where are we now, Stephen? Sammy boy, obviously the moment Sam with Carly, when he digs the wings into the ground, says it, Stephen, he needs the wings not to retain an element of Falcon because he's Captain America now, but just because he doesn't have the super soldier serum. So he needs that little edge. It's almost like Spider-Man in Infinity War. He needed those sort of legs to help him kill that shit, suck him out when he made the aliens reference, I think it was. He needs the wings to sort of give him that extra boost.
Unless he's taking the serum, which he can't now because there's none left.
Yeah, convenient, isn't it? I get into that in the comments as well. That's convenient. They kill every flag smasher off, and it's just John Walker who has it now, and Bucky. And Ajaya, of course. Steve, what did you make about Sam's brilliant speech? He's speaking to the senators, I think it was, or whatever they were. He had a great speech, speaking about the injustices, the commonality of human struggle.
It went on a bit, John.
It did go on a bit.
I will say one thing, John. It was quite emotional, and I think Steve Rogers would be very proud of that speech, because Steve Rogers, that's what he was famed for, giving the pep talks and the speeches. You know, that emotional sort of pull to the character. I think that's rubbed off on Sam.
Steve, I'm going to quickly search this up, because Ghost says US agent, black and white suits. I'm going to actually quickly search that up.
Yeah.
See if I can find that. Because I'm very intrigued by that. You've tickled my intrigue there. Is this it here? Is this the suit here, the black and white suit? I'm going to bring it up very quick. I'll bring this one up.
I was going to say, that looks better.
A little bit better. Let's
looks
bring
like
this
a
up.
Hamilton Aki strip.
It does look like a much better Hamilton Aki strip, to be fair. Bring it up. Is this the suit you're speaking about, Ghost?
There's only a couple of teams in Scotland that have got a star on this shirt.
Steve, there he's fighting fucking Sam's Captain America. This could be, I don't know, prophetic for the future. That is a good suit.
That's a good shot. That's a good.
It is a very good shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stephen, I'd like that suit. I just want to see the character moving on into the future and having a prominent role, if not in the TV side, then somewhere, because he's an interesting sort of model character. He's a yin to the yang of Steve Rogers, and we always need that sort of opposite. But Stephen, I love the speech. You're right, it did go on a little bit, but it just showed to the public and to the authorities, this guy's suitable. He has all of the intangibles required to be Captain America, everything that John Walker didn't have. He may have the serum, but this guy has the character.
There's a little nod after the speech as well between both of them, John, which was quite important, I felt, between Sam and John. Just a kind of acknowledgement. I think he's accepted he can't be the Captain America he wanted to be. Sam is the better man and person as well to carry that.
That's why Steve picked him.
Yeah, that's it. Good judge.
But he walked away, Stephen. Looked like a full
but I'm glad he did walk away, because it gave us a series.
Yes, it did, Stephen. We've got another comment. Some creators pointed out there was reshoots because of the pandy, and they are dissecting the show. Pandemic. Yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah. And they're dissecting the show unfairly and not taking it for what it was. Yeah, they did. They only get so much through, didn't they, in the actual initial production before the pandemic hit. So yeah, Stephen, I think the show flowed very well. I didn't see any signs of the reshoots affecting it or anything like that.
The quality was very.
It was a consistent story
with film. Yeah,
Stephen, I've enjoyed these shows. I
thought this episode was very film based as well, John.
Steve,
some of the shots were fantastic.
Steve, did you like during the speech the fact the camera was kind of floating?
Yeah,
it was almost like it was handheld, and it was panning in on Sam when he was speaking. I loved that. I've liked some of the little camera. What does that even mean? Camera flourishes. Yeah. When Walker was getting off the rails a bit, when just before Lamar got killed, and he went in and broke up Sam's speech with Carly, it was a little bit wishy-washy, the camera, sort of reflecting his mental state. I really enjoyed that as well. I don't know who the cinematographer is, but he deserves a medal. Stephen, tying up loose. Oh, no, Zemo. Zemo makes an appearance briefly. Thank you,
John.
Harley.
Do you know what the funny thing was? You talk about Carly's death. That happened in the 25th minute of this episode, of a 45-minute episode, and I thought, we're going to have a 20-minute wind down now. That's what we got.
Yeah. But it was good.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of things that they had to obviously cover, and close.
What is the name of this episode again, Stephen? One World, One People?
Yeah.
Well, they say that in the car, and then it gets blown up.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Zemo in his little prison, and he's laughing his head off. I'm like, yes, Zemo, you are my spirit animal, mate. I fucking love you. I want to see more of you in this world, man. He has to come back. I love Daniel Brühl, and that character has just been brilliant in this show, man, and we need to see him. I don't know how they get it to happen, but he has to come out again and make some impact. But again, they wiped it out. There's only one super soldier left now outside of Bucky, and that's convenient, I says. Stephen, tying up of loose ends, speaking of James Buchanan, Bucky, he ties up the loose ends. He strikes off the last name in his book. He speaks to the old Japanese guy. It was a nice scene. It was touching. It was required for Bucky, and it was required for that old Japanese guy to get his closure. Did you think the scene hit though, Stephen? Because I says to you, we spoke about it before we come on, the scene on its own would have been underwhelming for me. It would have been a letdown because it cut quite quickly. But when he walks past the shop or the restaurant and looks in and the old guy's moved on, John, I thought that that tied it up nicely for me. I liked that.
The first episode, that was established what he did to that old man's son, right? Now, percentages, John, after watching that first episode, how high would you have given a percentage of that scene happening the way it did? Or happening, I should say, just happening. 100%.
100.
Everyone knew that scene was going to happen, John. So they did it the right way, I felt. You know, we knew how it was going to play out. That old man was never going to thank Bucky for what he did. Let's be honest with you. Bucky didn't have to, he couldn't really explain his life to him as well. The 70 years or whatever it was, 100 years.
103, I think, yes.
Yeah, that you know, he was
looking good for his
brainwashed and all of these actions. And how do you do that? How do you make that scene and condense it into within a television episode as well? I felt they did it right, John, but you're right. That little bit at the very end when he's walking past the window of the bar, that nailed it.
Yeah.
Because
confirmed he'd done the right thing.
Yeah.
He'd freed up this guy. He's not got long left. This guy's free. And now Bucky's free to move on because he leaves the little book, the gift for his therapist. Thank you. So he's freed up. It's a new era for that character.
Yeah.
Stephen, I liked it. And you're right, he didn't even try to explain
John,
why he couldn't.
I'll tell you something. Is this him becoming the White Wolf?
I hope so.
And I think, are we? This is another question, John.
Just now.
Is the third season going to be called Captain America and the White Wolf? That would
it can't be the
amazing,
Winter Soldier. It
Yeah.
can't be the Winter Soldier because he's not the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier anymore. That was the brainwashed Bucky, and he's tossed the shackles of that life off, and he's free now. So I don't know what they're going to call this fucking TV show moving forward. They'd be as well just making a whole new TV show. But Stephen, speaking of those two guys, man, I loved them throughout this whole thing. I was expecting a mismatched buddy, back and forth banter, but we got so much more than that. They bounced off each other. They really helped each other out in this. You see it when he's struggling. He says, "Look, you're going to have to do the work," or something like that.
It's funny, John. You're right, because
it's been a great journey for these two
you talk
guys.
about a buddy movie, and you think of the likes of Hobbs and Shaw, springs to mind right away, or Tango and Cash if you're a bit older, and that's the impression I got that this would be like. It would be like banter. I don't think it was like that. You had moments of it, but there was a lot more going on with these characters as well. There was a lot of serious moments between them and emotional moments as well as the sort of funny banter bits as well.
Yeah, Stephen, it was a great journey, and we see that at the end. They're looking at the sunset. They're at peace. The two of them are at peace. Bucky is free and Sam has took on the mantle of Captain America. Speaking of which, Stephen, the whole stuff with Isaiah, it gets a fitting conclusion.
Yeah.
Isaiah is a guy who's been wronged by the state, by the government. He is embittered towards the stripes and the stars, if that's even what you call it. I don't know. Stars and stripes. I've fucking mixed it up. I'm not American. Okay. So it was a great sort of exploration of the racial issues over in the States, the undertones that were prevalent throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
It gets nicely concluded in this sort of, 2-3 minute sequence. He goes back, he speaks to him, he takes him to the museum. There's a statue for him. Stephen, I says, everything they try to do with Carly, with the emotional music and all that shit, and I didn't care. It was present here. That was profound. That scene, when he walks in, he sees the statue, shakes his hand. Now they'll not forget what you've done for this country. Stephen, I loved that. It was emotive as hell. It took me back, as I've said in my notes, to the Five Bloods. Spike Lee, Storm and Norman, Chadwick Boseman, stuff like that. Because that explored that, how they were underappreciated. They worked to build the country.
John,
it was present in that. I loved it.
The character of Carly and the character of Isaiah. Carly was on the screen a lot more than this character, but his character you could connect with better.
It made more of an impact.
Yeah, it made more of an impact, and that says a lot about the writing for the Flag Smashers and that character. I don't think
whoever's involved in his eyes writing should be getting more writing.
We got his backstory in one episode, maybe about a 3-minute scene it was, 5-minute scene with Bucky, and then this scene at the very end. I thought it was a very emotional scene as well, John. Even back at the house before they went to the museum, it was great. Just
you really had me believing you.
It's just there's a good chemistry between these two guys.
Stephen was like an old school sort of guy from that generation, like my grandfather and stuff like that. The people you connect with, you know the way they were brought up. They were brought up with morals, values, which has kind of been lost with the modern generations. And that was there. He had that sort of, the wit and the humour. I love that character, man. It's a shame we're not going to see more of him, but he had his part to play. He shaped, obviously, Sam into becoming Captain America. He made him question what it means for a black man to pick up the shield, to represent that flag. And I really enjoyed the way it was concluded, man. That was probably my most enjoyable moment. That, aside from the flag smashers getting wiped out, was probably my most enjoyable moment in this whole episode. But Stephen, man, we've done the whole Agent Carter, Sharon Carter sort of spin-off villain shit that we got in the end credits. What did you make about the end credits, incidentally, before we round up our thoughts on this finale and the show as a whole?
The title, the Captain America and Winter Soldier. We've talked about that, but you did raise a point, John. He's no longer the Winter Soldier, so why we call him the Winter Soldier still? I don't know.
It's a shame, Steve, because I love the Winter Soldier.
Maybe changing that's too much of a jump for the second season. I don't know. But
just call it Sam and Bucky.
I don't know. Where was it got the name? Was it in...
it was the Winter Soldier.
Where did they get the White Wolf name from?
The White Wolf, that was the Wakandans.
Wakandans,
When also Shuri takes the brainwashing element out of him, he's dubbed the White Wolf.
Perhaps we'll see Bucky more in Wakanda in the second season, and they will be established as the White Wolf by that point, John. The end credit scene, I don't normally look for these end credit scenes in these television series. I missed quite a chunk of them in WandaVision, and it didn't really do anything. It didn't change anything for me. Yeah, I didn't.
Ralph Boner.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to watch him for a minute longer. I love that character from X-Men.
I'm still pained.
Yeah,
that Evan Peters isn't a fake Pietro or just Pietro.
But the Agent Carter stuff, John, it's a setup. They're setting something up there clearly. Whether it'll be a TV show, I don't know if she'll be able to carry a TV show as a villain. I don't know.
They're going to have to do something with her, Stephen. There's going to have to be some big personalities around her, because I don't think that character on its own is enough to command its own TV show. But I think if it's part of a sort of criminal underworld, the underbelly of this universe, like what we're getting with the Book of Boba Fett and Star Wars, I think we will see Isaiah. I can't say that name. Isaiah Bradley's grandson in the future. I seen him. He was a cool little dude, man.
Yeah, I liked him.
I liked that dude. I liked the fact he had a little red, white, and blue flash in the collar as well. That was sort of connecting with Sam. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
I didn't notice that, John.
I'm very I dig deep into things, maybe too deep. Isaiah Bradley's story was great. I had some tears in my eyes when he went in the museum.
It was good. Yeah,
it was an emotive moment, because it was payback for this guy. He went through a lot of torture and stuff like that. No recognition. He got his recognition. I think that's pertinent, man. Even now with the whole George Floyd stuff, that guy getting convicted, that arse rag of a human being, it's important for black people. But Stephen, obviously, I'm not going down that rabbit hole, because I'm not even in a position to speak about that. Because I've never had the racist bone in my body, so I can't fathom people who are like that, man. That's the benefits of growing up. Exactly, Stephen, get that up there, man. I tell you, but we'll go wide shot here. There you go. There's our views in the world. There's our political views. No sexist, no racist, no fascist. That's the best view to have, man, in terms of world view. That's the beauty of being brought up with a big Jamaican guy from the Caribbean. You mix with his family, you can't fathom these fucking idiots who have these views on the world. But Stephen, man, final thoughts on the finale, the season, and the show as a whole.
Mike's saying, I think we will see Isaiah Bradley's grandson in the future. Do you all know that it has been reported today that Captain America 4 is in the works?
With Sam?
If we were doing a news show, we would have probably had that as a headline, actually.
With Sam? It has to be with Sam. It can't be with fucking Steve Rogers.
I would, unless it's a prequel.
Well, Stephen, there's talk of Chris Evans coming back now, and after watching this, I've got to say I don't want it. No. I don't want him coming back and stepping over Sam's shoes.
I don't want Steve Rogers' arc ruined by his return either. If Stephen, perfectly rounded off, just like you were talking about last night, John, Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark. I don't want to see him back, because it would take the impact away from his sacrifice, you know.
Well, there's talk that he's signed a 2-picture deal, Stephen.
Fuck up. Fuck up, Tony, come on.
Stephen, no. Chris Evans, not Tony. Tony's done. I think he's done. He's finished. Kaput.
I think Steve...
Do you think it could be Multiverse of Madness, an evil version of Steve Rogers comes out? And Stephen, would that not be interesting? I says at the time...
Bring back the Iron Zombie as well then. Bring him in.
Oh, yes, man. Stephen, I don't know what they're going to do, man. I don't want to see him back now, I've got to be honest. I just want to see Tony Mackie moving on forward as Captain America. But look, time will tell with that one. I trust Kevin Feige to get it right no matter what. I grew up in the South. In the US, unfortunately, racists still exist. It's sad. It is sad.
Everywhere, though.
It's the same here. Look, we're not holier than thou. Us Brits like to speak, or Scots, because I'm not even identifying as a Brit. There's fucking no chance. We like to say we're better than the Americans. We don't have racism over here. We fucking do. They're just a little bit more sneakier with it. The whole Brexit thing has revealed a racist underbelly in England more, but they're here in Scotland as well.
Yeah.
But we'll not get into that, Stephen. We have get into it. No politics, but we've got into
50-year-olds, letting fireworks off. Yeah,
there's a specific sort of community in Scotland who are more likely to have racist bones in their body, but not Irish. Fucking not Irish immigrants in Scotland. They're not going to have
Steve could happen.
Hydra Steve. Would that be good, man? Yeah. Instead of him fighting the elevator of sort of Frank Grills and stuff like that, he's actually a part of them.
He's going to the pub with Rumlow, Oh,
it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it, man? Frank Grillo still has movie deals, man. He says he doesn't want to come back. We are creating a fucking Phase 4 conundrum here, Stephen, man. Steve Rogers and Brock Rumlow together, evil in Multiverse of Madness. Make that happen, man. Bring Frank Grillo back. This guy's 56 or something. He's fucking shredded. An absolute unit. I want to see him alongside Steve Rogers fighting the good guys. Oh my god, that'd be amazing, man. Stephen, though, final thoughts on the... So we've done politics, we've done racism, we've done alternate futures for the MCU. What's your thoughts on the actual current of the MCU, Steve? What did you make about this finale overall? Thoughts on the season, and do you think there's a future? I think we've kind of done that for a season 2.
Unlike WandaVision, John, where I didn't know what was happening from one episode to the next, I kind of had an idea where this series was going to take us.
Yeah.
Its themes, its tones, hit the spot every time, to be honest with you. But that's not to say that it wasn't interesting and it wasn't predictable. There was some twists and turns in the way as well. The introduction or the reintroduction of the Zemo character helped that. Sam's conflict with taking on the mantle of the Shield throughout the series, right up to episode 5, that was interesting enough as well. Bucky's redemption, I felt that was very important that we covered that in this series as well. And like Mike said earlier on, this was all about character development. That's what these Disney Plus series are best for. It gives us more time with these characters, and you needed that with these two characters in particular. Where we left them off in Endgame and where we are with them now has been a great emotional roller coaster. It's been a great journey, and it's something that you can't really cram into one film.
No.
And we've, I don't know how, what's that you're talking about, maybe
6 hours?
6 hours, yeah.
5.5, 6 hours.
Yeah, you're close to that, yeah. I mean, that's the almost 2 films we've got with these two characters, and it's been great. I've really enjoyed it, John.
Stephen, that's the beauty of TV. That's what you can't do in movies. You don't have the pressures, I keep saying, of box office breathing down your neck, cramming you into a sort of identikit movie. You can do what you want. There's a freedom in TV. That's why I want Star Wars to continue just making TV shows, because I genuinely think the TV shows are better than the movies over at Disney. Stephen, I can't really add anything to that. I think you've summed it up perfectly. It's just been a great drama, heavy, with flourishes of action sort of TV show. The way it's explored these minor characters, the way that WandaVision done it as well, it's a nice refreshing change of pace for Marvel projects. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to continue enjoying it into the future. It's been a pleasure taking it, talking to you good gentlemen. It's been a lot of fun. Well, it's appreciated. We like talking to people as well. That's why we do it. We like speaking, man. You can't shut me up. I speak all day long. I speak to myself when I'm out. I just cannot stop fucking talking. So it's the pleasure is ours as well. But that's going to round up the review of the finale. One people, one world, one people, whatever the fuck it was called. God awful Fax Masters.
Get together and feel alright. Yep.
That's going to round up the review. What was your thoughts on that episode, the finale? What was your thoughts on the show as a whole? What did you make about the future of Marvel, man, of these characters, of John Walker, of Captain America, aka Sam, of Bucky, is he the White Wolf? You can comment below if you've got anything to say. That's what I'm saying. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, hit the follow button over on Twitch if you want to see more content like this in the future, and you will get it. I don't know what we're going to be reviewing next, Stephen. There's going to be more Marvel TV shows, but we'll probably be taking a hiatus and doing some random movies. But when they come out, the shows, we will review them.
We'll probably announce on Monday what we're doing.
Steve, what is next in Marvel? Is it What If? Are we going to review that? I don't know. That'll depend on how good it is. It'll probably be Loki, to be honest with you. Yeah. We'll dabble with next, the great Tom Hiddleston. But look, I've spoken enough. I'm done. You don't want to listen to me anymore. Bye-bye. That's not what. Bye-bye.